Good morning, ladies. It's day 2 of the Morning Miracles Challenge. Today we're going to talk about our theme. The question of the day is, in what way can a morning routine help remind you that heaven still rules throughout the day? Today's reflection and prompt came from Deborah Absher, and she writes, our theme this month is Heaven Still Rules, named after the conference our MMC leaders attended. We will draw on new content from the speakers for this 10-day challenge. Heaven Rules is a way to approach life. We want to start the year not only putting God first, but seeing that He rules in our lives. When we realize that heaven rules, our outlook can change dramatically, being filled with hope and joy. In the book by Nancy DeMoss, Wagamuth, she jumps right into a crazy story about a couple that had a stillborn son. And she had been working with this couple. The man was in her ministry and knew that she used this term, heaven rules, whenever she encountered stress or tribulation. I love that. I love that as a ministry leader, she made an impact on him that moved him to write the night that his son passed away, was stillborn, wrote heaven rules big on the marker board where the nurses had been working to remind him and his wife of the goodness of God, even in that grave situation. Now, really quick, if it's all right with you, I'd like to read a couple of excerpts from this book, Heaven Rules, which was kind of the big book launch of that conference we went to a couple of years ago. All right, I'm on page 29, and it says, by heaven rules, of course, I mean God rules. The God of heaven rules. He rules over every tide of history, over every king and kingdom, over every activity we undertake, over every person and part of His creation. Heaven rules is a right-sizing truth, putting our view of God, our view of ourselves, and our view of problems in proper perspective. It's a truth meant to instill healthy fear within every proud heart that aims to be its own ruler and believes we humans can determine our own direction and destiny. So you can see why we chose this topic for something as significant as the beginning of the year, right? When everyone's trying to fulfill their destiny and determine their direction. It goes on, sister. That's how heaven's rule corrects us, and we're crazy to think we don't need it. God is kind, not cruel, and reminding us who's in charge and doing it at whatever cost He knows is necessary to get our distracted attention. How many of you are distracted in the morning time? The distractions, they come in droves, okay? None of us really wants to find out what would happen if He weren't in charge, though, right? The same truth that corrects us is also intended to comfort us, to reassure us and free us, to catch us and keep us. Heaven rules means He is sovereign over everything that touches us, that nothing comes to us unbidden by His desire to use it for our good, for His glory, and for the greater things He created us to be a part of. Listen, He is ruler over every diagnosis and prognosis, over all incomes and outcomes, over the most daunting challenges as well as the most seemingly trivial details of our lives. It's so hard to stop reading. Okay, I'm going to read just one little part more, this little part, okay? Ready? This truth that is powerful enough to take down the great is also powerful enough to bear up the least of us, both in our private ordeals and as we face the world that seems to be imploding around us. We can take comfort as we walk on this earth because of our Father's rule from heaven, comfort and courage. For heaven rules does not call for a passive acceptance of fate. it comes with the promise of grace for the battle. When we feel we just can't withstand any more pressure, problems, or pain, the awareness of God's rule infuses us with supernatural strength. It enables us to live with contented, cemented clarity through the chaos and the ugly fallout of a fallen world, through struggles and circumstances that make us want to run away in panic or curl up in despair. We find the courage to patiently, even joyfully, persevere in the assurance that heaven rules. Is that encouraging today? I mean, that was amazing. I loved this whole section. I wanted to read it to you to encourage you because I hear in here miniature stories. After reading your whys for joining and the things that you think are coming up against you during your intentional morning time with the Lord to distract you, to overwhelm you, to make you feel like this isn't even possible for you, I hear these words about heaven rules, and it does shift my perspective. It reminds me this is going to be so worth it for you and for me, because I get to see it happen. I get to see what God does. That's what I do this for. I love watching God work. Okay, so again, your question of the day. In what way can a morning routine help remind you that heaven still rules throughout the day? All right, sister, we're parting ways now, and I will leave you to be writing, sharing with your team, checking in, and I hope you had a wonderful time in the Word, prayer, journaling, taking care of that body, and checking in with your teams today. Tomorrow, we're going to take a little bit of a deep dive on Bible reading. We're going to go through this portion. It's going to be from Beth Eilers. You're going to love it. I will see you tomorrow. And I pray that God blesses you today, and I thank him for giving us each morning together. It's in humility that we seek him each morning. It's a gift. All right, I will see you tomorrow. This is Laura Gabriel signing off.